Hello all, welcome to day 9's lecture. Hope you're having a great day. So this again is MCR 4, it's the day 9 lecture. So you are in the unit 2, which is modeling section. All right, so starting to get into it a little bit, we're gonna talk about interpreting data for a few minutes and how that links to linear functions. So if you have an arithmetic sequence, okay, and we go graph it, say our PO is 1, and then our D is 3. So as we go through the terms, this is PO, it was 1. This is P1, it was 4 because we added 3. This is P2, it was 7 because we added 3. And we keep adding 3 all the way through. So here's our term value. What we end up with is it makes this straight line. And we can use this straight line to read the various term values off of it. So for P12, the answer is 37. We could extend the line. For P18, the answer is 55. So we can tell from the graph just a few pieces. Now, having this graph in front of you, say you wanted to find the 9th term or the P8, we could find it on the graph. We'd go to the red arrow and go P8 is 25. If we wanted to find instead the other way, what term is going to go with 55, then we would find the 55 and go backwards. That's P18, which is the 19th term. So just remember again that the Pn minus 1 is the nth term. So Pn is really the n plus 1 term. So if you have P9, that's the 10th term. All right, so how this applies, let me grab our form here, is if we want to look at our data with that same graph, but we wanted to create a formula. Okay, so say for example, when n is 24, we don't have data on the graph. Okay, we want to find P of 24. But we can use our model that we have, the Pn equals PO plus n times D. So we know that PO is 1. We know that D is 3. So for P of 24, we could plug those in and get our value. So that's 1 plus 72 equals 73. And if you check your graph, it is definitely extending far into that 73 range. So we're going to continue to use that same data. But what we're going to do is plug it in again, and this time find P of n when n is 50. So from the graph, you would grab the information off. So you would grab off a formula where P of O is the initial value, and you would grab the 3. And how you know the 3 is because to get from one point to the next, you're adding 3. And now we have a formula for any term. So P of 50 equals 1 plus 50 times 3, which is 151. But if we want what value is actually 250, we're going to work the other way. P of what n is 250 equals 1 plus 3n, and now we're going to work backwards. So 250 equals 1 plus 3n minus your 1. So that gives you 249 equals 3n, and then you would divide it by 3. And that would bring you to n is 83. So P of 83 is 250. So we can work back and forth on that, getting them. Last time, this one is already set up for you. If the P of n is 331, what would n be? So we already know P of O is 1, and we know D is 3 because we got that info off the graph. So we're going to minus 1. And we get n is 110. All right, so we should be able to get that info off a graph. So where we're going with this is going into graphing some data. So to graph data, you have the coordinate plane. Coordinate plane uses X's and Y's. So the X and the Y are going to be called an ordered pair. So X is usually denoted by that P of n value in terms of we're looking for the third, the fourth, the fifth n. And then Y is that output. What is the actual value? After 3 iterations, the value is 4. Horizontal axis is X, increases from left to right. Vertical axis is Y, increases from bottom to top. So to plot your ordered pairs, say I want to plot A. A says go 4 over and go 3 up, and that's A. B says go 2 over and 5 up, and that's B. O says don't go anywhere, it's 0, 0. To get some of the negatives, H says go -5 for X, -5 for Y. So you should pause and try to graph a few of these and see if they match. So for J, I'm going 0, 4. For K, I'm going 4 and not going up at all. So this J is my y-intercept. This K is an x-intercept. But so is L, M, and N, because all of these fall on the x-axis. They don't go anywhere with the up or down. So all of these are x-intercepts. And then this guy is the origin. F would be -2, -1. E would be 3, -1, just to grab a few of these on there. D is over here, -1, 3. And C would be 5, 2. So this starts to get pretty crowded there. But you're getting the idea. Each one is your X, comma, your Y, always. All right. So now you can also work backwards. So pause the video for a minute and see if you can work backwards from all the coordinates. Can you go the other way? So for A, you would go -4, 4. For B, it's 2, 4. For C, it's 4, 4. Right. And like I said, pause, because let's see how you do with the rest of these. Can you get them all correct? All right, so you can see how you do with those. All right, so to get into a couple of the practice problems for today, let me scroll down. You've got data on textbook costs. So putting this into perspective for 4 semesters. So the semesters are going to be basically your x-axis, 0, 1, 2, 3. And the cost is your y-axis, the 110, the 131, the 151, and the 173. So T0 is the first semester, T1, T2, T3, but 4 semesters total. So to graph it, I'm going to put my T's down here. And then I'm going to make a break in my graph and have this be 110, 130, 150, 170. Because I don't want to have all that other stuff. So at 0, it costs 110 when you started. After 1 semester, it was 132. After 2 semesters, it was 151. And after 3, it was 173. So that's going in a pretty linear function. So then how we want to do the linear growth model. This is kind of an intro. Y equals mx plus b, which is Pn equals Dn plus the PO. We're going to formally talk about this next time. So to do this slope idea, the D, how much is this increasing by? Tells us to use the first and last data. So it's 173 minus 110 over 3 minus 0. Basically, what's the average increase there? That gives me a total of 21. So roughly every semester, it's going up about $21. This is 22. This was 19, 22, but about $21. Average rising cost per semester. Then it says find the fifth semester when T is 4. So that's only it's only 2 more semesters, right? Or 1 more semester, sorry. So we're going to put in P of N equals D. That's the D that we found. It's going up 21 each semester, and the initial cost was 110. So after going up approximately $21, it should be about 194. And that is your day 9 material, and you do have a day 9 assignment. Have a great day.